All right, welcome to class. I'm Grandmaster Finegold, and you're some punk kids and a couple of adults. Make sure this is working. Yeah. Okay, so before we start, even though I showed this in the last class, I want to show you guys. It's not related to the lecture, it's just funny. This is the game Nakamura MVL, which is ongoing. And in this position, Nakamura did something I've never seen before. That's move 3. He played d4 and took with the queen. Too many kids' classes.
Looks like a Ben Finegold.
Yeah, it's like I'm kidding. And then he played b3 and castle queenside, and the computer says he's better.
He didn't go pin the knight though, that's your move, right?
Exactly. And then, right. Well, that's a different line, but similar.
Yeah.
Then in this position, MVL played e5. Boo! So this is like two little kids playing. Queen takes d4, e5, every move's ridiculous. Okay, and then now Nakamura has a clear advantage, but he's probably gotten it down to equal by now. Yep, there we go, equal. Yeah, good job, Nakaru. Yeah, so all the games will be draws today. As you all know, which means you know it, and you might know it, Ding Liren, you know what I'm gonna say? Oh, so this tournament has 10 good players, or it used to. So, before the tournament started, the tooth hurts. Mamedjarov hurt his tooth. He's like, ow, my tooth. He went to the dentist, and he said, I'm not playing in the tournament. My tooth hurts. Okay? Then they asked Geary to play, and Geary said no. Then they asked Hammer to play, and they said, what are you going to do about my tooth and I can't play? And they said, we're giving you the hammer. And he said, okay, I'll play. Okay? It's funny because it's all true. So he's playing. He wasn't going to play, he's like, all right, I'll play.
So if it was Yuri, he was going to sit it out. But...
Right, yeah. So he's like, all right, I'll play. And then I guess his tooth is better now, I guess. Anyway, so now it looks good, like we're going to have 10 players. Then after the rest day, or during the rest day, they had a cook-off. This isn't a joke. And they paired up the players and they had a cooking contest. The winners were Ding Liren and Anand, and they never cooked before, but they won, because other people were, yeah. Okay, then later in the day, Ding Liren, number 4 in the world maybe, was on a bike ride, crashed his bike, broke like a bone in his hip, has surgery, he's out of the tournament. Tough tournament, right? So now there's 9 players. They moved the tournament to Germany because there's 9 players. So it's in Norway. It's so strong, you've heard of most of the players. That's pretty strong. See, these are the players, see them? Like Wesley So, Carlson, Caruana, Aroni, Nakamura, MVL, Mamedjarov, Anand. And then there's 2 more players, Ding, and who's the 10th player? Karyakin. Now, when Ding was involved in a bicycle accident, Sergey was carjacked, but then they turned out it was just his name. So, yeah. All right, so C4, what do you think of that move, Archer? C4. C4. Explosive, right, yeah. Okay, now that's a terrible move, it says. Now black's better. Yeah. Yay, go MVL. All right, so enough of this nonsense and so forth. Okay, draw, Jeffrey Shang won, everybody won. So this is the Continental, which I've never played in. You're allowed to play if you're from North or South America. It's always in South America, always. And the top whatever, 4, 6, I don't know. They go to the FIDE knockout nonsense thing they have every 2 years. You know what I'm talking about? They get like 128 players and they all get knocked out. And then the winner gets like a lot of money. Right. So then these guys get to go to there and lose in round 1. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So they're playing for that. Usually there's more Americans playing. We got a Wonder Liang, Jeffrey Shang, and Sam Shankland. Okay, Sergey Ehrenberg, he's no good. And then, actually, Mora Diabate's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, if he ever breaks up with his fiancée, then she'll have Mora Diabate. I ain't got no Mora Diabate, right?
Yeah.
And Mora Diabate doesn't like me.
Cool.
Well, he gets it, yeah, maybe.
Van Halen.
Even then, well, before Van Halen, that's a cover. Yeah, terrible. It's, what's his name? Give me an hour to think about it. Louis Prima. Yeah. Wait, you heard of Louis Prima? You that old?
Yeah.
You weren't even that old.
Yeah, I knew the Van Halen song, I didn't know.
Yeah, you never even heard of Louis Prima. No. It's possible Louis Prima's a cover too, but I think he's the original. But possible that's a cover. And Louis Prima's 30 years before Van Halen. So that's when you know. Yeah. Also, Louis Prima version's great. The Van Halen is, it's Van Halen. What do you want? Also, they never heard of Van Halen.
It's David Lee Roth.
Yeah, they never heard of him. They got nothing. They never heard of anybody. I can't name anybody they've heard of, right?
You.
Who's Muhammad Ali? You. That's correct.
Cassius
You,
Clay.
you don't know.
Hey,
Well, you know, you're my,
Clay.
you're my stepson. He knows the two greatest heavyweights of all time are Muhammad Ali and Cassius Clay. Okay, now in the first class, I showed the games from the Georgia State Championship in which I was the victor. First I was Ben, then I was victor. Today, we're gonna look at another tournament I played in, the May month long. It only seemed like a month. I tied for first. With whom?
Ocean.
Ocean Liu tied for first with me. I had 3 wins and 2 half-point buys. Now, one of our customers at the chess center was complaining a lot yesterday. He said, I only play lower-rated players, and I have to win every game or I don't gain rating points. I gotta win like every game. And he does badly, so it's his floor now. Okay, that could be a lot of our customers too. A lot of our customers at their floor. Man, there's actually a lot of them. Like thinking of like all the customers at our floor, it's a lot. Okay, floors are good. Mathematically sound. Anyway, so I was thinking, I'm usually paired down. No talking, right? Because I'm the highest rated player in the state, so I'm paired down a lot. So I was like, how have I done this year? That's why I have a beard. Okay, and it turns out I have 17 wins and a draw. That's my record this year in Georgia. The draw was in 6 moves with Ben Moon, who's like 24-30. And the other 17 wins were not quick draws, right? So that guy was complaining he has to win every game. Well, I did win every game, so I'm up like 3 rating points this year. If you had those tournaments, you'd be higher rated than me now. You'd be getting 200 points a tournament. Okay, now, in round 1 I played Richard Staples. Possibly I've shown this game before, but possibly not. I played knight f3. Now, if you know every game I've ever played in my life, and you should, the last time I played Richard Staples, he played the Richard Staples move in this position. What was it? Remember, it's a Richard Staples move, so it's slightly unusual.
B6.
What's that?
B6.
That would be unusual. It's the game Sarawan Mamedyarov from the World Team Championship 2011. There's a good hint.
E6.
Who?
E6.
That's a normal move. I want a Richard Staples move.
Queen A5 check.
All right, that's a good answer too. F5. Okay, and then I won in like 20 moves. Okay, so this time I played knight f3 because I'm sure he had preparations. Okay, and then I played boring, and he played boring, advantage me. Now here's a weird move blocking the bishop, but okay. Okay, now you'll notice I have a bishop here because I do.
Yeah.
And then I want to do that because that seems good. And I did do that. Okay. So you start with c4 because c4 is
Explosive.
explosive, right? Now he made a bad move, bishop c5, not really related to what's happening in the center. Okay, and I took. And now, what is defending his d pawn?
Knight on F6.
The knight. So I played
Bishop G5.
bishop g5. Now it's not defending it. Okay, now this is the kind of move you guys always make, and it's always wrong, but you're not going to stop doing it even though I tell you not to. You can't help it. Everybody would make the same move in this position.
Yeah.
Raj, what would you play?
I wouldn't play it. H6.
Yeah, h6, yeah. So h6 loses a tempo because I didn't play bishop g5 so I could go back to c1. That wasn't my point. My point was I'm going to take your knight and I'm going to win your center pawns. You'd like to take back with the knight, but then your e5 pawn is not defended because I said so. See the knight on f3 is attacking it?
Yeah.
According to what I just said, what move does the computer play with black? It really surprised me and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense based on my description.
Knight B6.
Who?
Knight B6.
That hangs the e5 pawn.
Oh.
Boo! Anybody? Also, he gave the answer away when I said it hangs the e5 pawn, so that was good. You're hooking them up. It doesn't really help. If I even said the move, they wouldn't get it.
E4.
Oh, Queen E7? I don't know.
Wait, your moves actually make sense. The computer move is bishop to d6. Now, the e pawn's defended because I said so. If I ever take the knight on f6, you can take with the knight now. Problem is, this bishop doesn't have a plethora of moves. Okay, and the kids are like, I'll pretend I know what plethora means, then I'm smart. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, that was a plethora of yeses. Okay, the bishop can't move, and then the knight can't move, and after here everybody can move. So queen e7, e4 also makes sense. He played h6. Now which way did he take?
With the,
With the what?
with the knight. I mean, pawn.
No, with the queen.
Man, I got all three answers. Good class.
Because you said the pawn on e5 and b6.
Yeah, if he takes with the knight, he loses his e-pawn. Taking with the pawn is strategically suspicious. With the queen. I played the obvious move.
That's your thing.
Who?
That's your thing.
Yeah, that was pawn's attack because I said so. He defended it. I played rook c1, threatening, discovered everything. This is why bishop c5 wasn't good. The bishop's not defended, and now if it was my move, I could make lots of moves that attack his bishop by discovery. He moved back, and then I attacked his pawn again. Actually, I didn't attack his pawn. I'm wrong. The game was played a month ago, so I forgot. I did something else. Notice the knight's defending the pawn because I said so. So I played a5 because I'm a grandmaster. You guys can't do that yet.
No A4.
You guys can play a4, but you can't play a5.
Alright.
Now, the engine is also not a grandmaster because engines don't have titles. So the engine also plays a4. It's unfortunate. Now I'm threatening a5 because I said so. So he played bishop e6, and when I played a5, his bishop is defending his pawn. Smart, right?
Why can't he play a5 to blockade your pawn?
He could have. You'd rather move a pawn on the side, undefending your knight, than bishop e6 developing a piece.
Right, okay.
Then his knight's attacked and his
He's
pawn.
gotta go back, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I attacked his pawn again, but not with queen b3, the only move you see, but the right move. I'll give you a hint. You may discover the answer. Good hint.
Knight D2?
Knight to d2. And now, if the audience wants to be confused, you want to be confused?
Sure.
Yeah, black's losing now. It seems like black shouldn't be losing. Material's equal. He has two bishops. He has the nice center. But you can't save this diagonal. Your diagonal's finished. Okay? What if you were in Helsinki? It would be finished. Now it's finished. Is that in Finland? I'm thinking of the joke from Die Hard.
What?
The first Die Hard. Before all you kids were born and some of the adults. Were you born when Die Hard 1 was made?
Yeah, I think so.
You sure? How old are you?
33? Yeah, it came out in 80, what?
Yeah, it was close. It was 88, I think.
Yeah, I was 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I was living in Belgium. No, it was in 89. I was living in Belgium and I flew to Boston to go to Amherst to play the U.S. Junior Championship. I played in the U.S. Junior Championship. I was married and living in Belgium. And I played in the U.S. Junior Championship. Yes. Not easy to do. It'll never be done again. Anyway, and I saw the movie with Patrick Wolf, former U.S. champion. Although at that time he was not the former U.S. champion because he wasn't U.S. champion yet. So he was the... Okay. Anyway, coffee's done. How can coffee be done when I just made coffee? Shouldn't have been done like 10 minutes ago? Okay, anyway, what was I saying? Patrick Wolf, Kasparov. All right, and we saw Die Hard, okay? And you kids heard of Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Who's the Die Hard Harry Potter guy?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Who's he played in Harry Potter?
Snape.
You know who Snape is? He was in the Die Hard movie you never heard of.
I've never
He's like, who's Snape? Who's Harry
His
Potter?
name was Hans Gruber. In the movie.
Right, Hans Gruber, right,
He
yeah.
died recently.
That's correct. He died about 2 years ago, I think. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, in this position, I'm threatening everything. If I was playing Vichy, it'd be Vishwa nothing. Okay. Now he did something that's terrible that you guys do all the time. I could talk about this for an hour because
You get paid by the hour.
I get paid by the hour. Right. So the only way to not lose your D pawn is to play D4. If you don't do that, I win a pawn. So he played D4. Okay, D4 loses more, so that's a bad move. So you should say, if I don't play D4, I lose a pawn. D4 loses more than a pawn, so I'll castle and just lose a pawn. Okay, you want to lose the least. But instead he was like, if I don't play D4, I lose a pawn, and that was the end of his analysis. Wasn't the best analysis. Now I played several forcing moves in a row. Okay, I played knight e4. That forces him to play only one move.
Queen 7.
Queen e7, right? Now he's forced to play one move.
Queen D6.
Yeah, and now he loses. His queen's attacked, and I'm threatening knight c7 check.
Yeah.
The truth hurts. Yeah. So d4 was bad. And not playing d4 is also bad because I'm going to win your d pawn. So h6 was bad because his queen went to f6. That's not, don't want to do that. Now, this is the style of chess that especially children like, called hyper-modern chess. You give the guy the center, then you attack it. So there's the center, and then I attacked it, and then I took everything. And he didn't defend his center correctly. He did move his knight several times. That's pretty good, right? No, that's not good. Okay, so now I'm winning. And this was very weird. In this position, I played f4. I think it's pretty obvious why. I want to go here.
True.
So if he takes it, I play queen takes f4 check. Probably not good for black.
Nope.
So I thought he would play f6.
But never played.
That's what I thought. And then my intention was to play takes here with the idea of taking. Then if he plays king takes, I have queen f4 check again. And then if he does something about it, I could like double on the f file, maybe go here, maybe come in. Okay, that was my intention. He played e4, which I thought was crazy like Fox News, but it's actually crazy like a fox. Crazy, right?
Mhm.
I was like, what? I just take that. And then the engine also plays e4. It really doesn't like f6. You know, it's an engine, never play f6. Okay, then connect 4, check. And now I played rook c1, threatening queen c7 check, because I said so.
Yeah.
Probably if you had black, you wouldn't want me to play queen c7 check.
That works a rook.
What's that?
That one's a rook.
Right, so let's suggest a move for black.
Resigns.
That's what a grandmaster would do, but he's not a grandmaster.
Move the king where?
With the king where?
Somewhere that the queen.
Somewhere. I only got one legal move.
Somewhere where it's not checked.
E7.
Yeah, then queen c7 check is the same. So that doesn't help.
Yeah. You
Right?
can't do anything. You can't do anything.
No, he stopped queen c7. He made the only move that stops it.
Resigns.
That's not a move.
E7. No.
E7 is not a move. Queen e7 is a move, but not e7.
You play the knight
E7.
He played the knight.
to c5.
There's a rook here and a queen here. So that would lose the knight. I'd take it.
Wait, but queen E7 does.
Queen e7, that's what he played. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I did a fork. So when you stop a threat, you could be allowing other threats that weren't threats before you allowed them. So for example, there's $1 billion in this room and you were paid to guard it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in here and like nobody ever takes it because you're tough. And then your mom's like, hey, go to that room and guard $10. And you're like, all right. Okay, you see, that's what he did. He was like, oh, I have to stop this. So he did. Now he should resign, but you know, he doesn't know that. Now something else isn't protected. I have another threat that wins, which I didn't have before, but now I have.
Queen C6 check.
Queen b6 check. Notice his bishop isn't defended very much, right?
It's better than losing a rook, though.
Yeah, well, better to resign. So he resigned, yeah. And then I won. Yay, but his king's pretty good. Oh wait, no it's not.
Does the engine give some crazy line that's better than queen e7?
Oh, no, the engine actually has a crazy line better than queen b6. But I thought queen b6 would force resignation, so that was quicker. Yeah. Engines would not play queen b6, because there's some crazier line that wins more material on it. Yeah, which I would never do. Okay, then in the next round I took a bye. Then in the third round I played Archer, who's right there. He's sitting right there. Okay, and I was black. I played boring against Archer because he's too good at tactics. Is that boring enough for you? How's that? Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And which famous physicist would like this position?
Schrodinger?
Ah, that wasn't funny at all.
I don't get the joke.
Niels Bohr. Come on, it's boring. Terrible. You don't know the book, The Boring World of Niels Bohr? Horrible. Okay. Anyway, so that's pretty boring. Yeah? Okay. I played knight c5 because I like bishops. I'm a grandmaster. And then I took a bishop. I like bishops so much I played here. And then Archer's not a grandmaster. So 2 bishops versus 2 knights. You guys were told open positions are good for bishops. Is this open?
No.
No. And he played h3 here. And now, Archer played the Popeye attack. He had all he could stands, he can't stands no more. No, nothing. Yeah, somebody at home got it. Like whoever invented Popeye. Alright. So here's what would happen in every Popeye cartoon. And you don't know who Popeye is, but if you did, you'd think it's funny. Okay. Popeye, it's a cartoon. Okay? And it was also a movie. Who was the director for Extra Cash? Robert Altman's the answer. Okay. Anyway, Robin Williams was Popeye, by the way. You guys do that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. They never heard of Robin Williams by that. None of them. Nothing. They got nothing. Okay. Anyway, here's every Popeye cartoon. All cartoons you watch are the same. So is Popeye. Popeye doesn't do anything. Then there's this bad guy who's always doing bad stuff. And Popeye's like, darn, I wish he would stop doing that bad stuff. And then they would go on for several minutes. Now the cartoon has to end, right?
Yeah.
So Popeye would be like, all right, I've had all I can stands, I can't stands no more. Because it's been like 6 minutes. He eats a can of spinach, that makes him powerful, he beats the guy up and the cartoon ends. Now you know all Popeye cartoons. All right.
Don't forget Olive Oil, though.
Well, yeah, but they're too young for that. Okay, then, when I was a kid, I was like, but spinach in a can's terrible, because spinach in a can's terrible. But spinach that's not in a can is fine. But I didn't know that. I just do spinach in a can because of Popeye. And I'm like, that's terrible. If you don't believe me, eat some. Get a can of spinach, you'd be like, this is terrible.
Put some egg in it.
Well, it's something. I can't, I'm a vegan. Okay, so now Archer had all he could stands, he can't stands no more. See how boring it is? He's like, that's enough of that. So he played
D4.
D4, roar, opening it up for my bishops. The computer doesn't mind if he takes this, because when I take back, my rook gets open, I get more center pawns. But I'm a grandmaster, not a computer, I like bishops, so I keep my bishops. Okay, now Archer made his first mistake. This position is about equal. He played king h1, undefending his f2 pawn, which he didn't notice ever until I captured it. Then he noticed it. I played queen b6, attacking his knight because I said so. If his knight moves away, I take his pawn, which is what happened. Okay? Now he's threatening my pawn. That's not very nice. So I took. And I should take this pawn, but it's very tricky. He could take my pawn, he could play knight e4, forking my queen and bishop and pawn. So I just played d5. Black's position looks pretty good. See how he's double pawns here, shattered and sundered, stormed out with shot and shell. They that have fought so well, right?
No.
No, you don't like Tennyson? No? Alright. So now he should defend his f-pawn because I said so. But he had a good excuse. It's the only excuse you can give for sacrificing a pawn, as I accept. And the excuse was, he didn't see I could take it. So that's okay. He didn't intentionally, see that's what you guys do wrong. You guys, I'm like, why'd you give your rook away? And you're like, well, here was my idea. I'm like, well, your idea was to give your rook away? That was your idea? Yeah, because I thought, and then like you're down a rook. Okay? Or you could say, I didn't see he could take my rook. That's okay. If you didn't see it, what are you going to do? If you did see it, you let him do it anyway, that's no good, right? You cross the street and a bus hits you, and you say, I didn't see the bus. That's okay. Or you could say, I saw the bus, I thought I could outrun it. That's not okay, right? You can't be, if you see the bus, you don't, okay. So he didn't see his f-pawn was attacked, so he didn't save it. Why didn't he see it? That's the question. Whether it's his noble in the mind to sacrifice the f-pawn, or to take arms against the sea of queens and bishops, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more. Right, you guys agree?
Yeah.
Nothing? All right. So, yeah, obviously. It's the Hamlet Gambit. Now, in this position, he played knight f5, not really related to his f-pawn, attacking d6. I took, not related to his f-pawn. He took back, nothing to do with his f-pawn. I played d5, nothing to do with his f-pawn. So he forgot about it. It's like, the f-pawn's been oblivious, you know. So he played rook a4, because Archer, for some reason, likes rook lifts. What happened was, he was on the internet one day, probably read it, and some guy said, do you lift, bro? And he was like, I guess he means rook lifts. So then he gets in back rank trouble. Because when you lift your rooks, there's no back rank. Yeah. But Jensha, how do you like your games?
Yeah, maybe I was watching Benefit commentary.
That's right. So I took on f2. Now, You guys like to move your queen out as far as possible, then the other guy takes it, then you don't like it. I don't like it ever, because the guy might take my queen. Based on that sentence, what did I do?
You just gave it a queen away.
Bishop B6, I mean, Queen B6.
Queen b6, as far away from his pieces as possible. Okay, then I played rook e8, because my rook's good on e8, right? Okay, he played queen d2, threatening.
Queen takes H6.
Right, I didn't see that, except for one thing.
You saw it.
Yeah, of course. King f8. Now queen h6 is risky, because I take it. And he played b4, and I thought this is a good time to trade queens, and Archer disagreed. It was like a drive-by argument in London. I disagreed. Man, you gotta watch a lot of Family Guy to get that joke. Okay, so what's the only move white can make to not trade queens?
D1.
Who?
D1.
Queen d1. Right. Now I didn't know what to do because I liked all my pieces. So I said, I'll play d4. I don't know where the knight's going. I know that when it does go somewhere, it's not going to be good. These are the three safe squares. Okay, what would Laurence Olivier say? You're my only hope. No, Marathon Man, 1975.
Marathon Man, is it safe?
There you go. See, he was my only hope. Yeah. He would say, is it safe? And then Archer would say, yeah, it's safe. And then I would say, is it safe? He would say, no, it's not safe. Right? No?
Yeah.
My dentist doesn't know that joke. I see a new dentist. The dentist doesn't know Marathon Man. Why do you go to the dentist? Okay. Anyway, instead, Archer made a slight mistake. Barely noticeable. Archer,
I played 92.
92, slightly risky. Right? So I took it. Bam, now I'm up a knight. Hooray. So 92 was not good. Probably knight a4 is the best with the intention of going to c5. Then I probably would have played b6. This is probably like 2.2. I don't know. What am I, Grandmaster? All right, see, I was about right. 2.2, yeah. Okay. And then after a knight here, it's more than 2.2. Okay, and then I won the game. Hooray for me. However, in said event, Archer gained about 80 rating points. Because that game he lost 0 rating points. Then you beat Jay Ashry, and you beat Matthew Jiang, and you drew Bo Shears.
Yep.
Yeah, that's better. If you guys knew who those people were, you'd be impressed.
That's using my skill.
Yeah, he was the lowest rated by far. Wait, isn't your school the state champions?
Yes.
Nice. Your school's not as bad as they play. Yeah. Matthew's one of my better students. You know. Yeah. Okay. Then last but not least, possibly least, was against Andrew, Matthew's brother. I played him in round 4. In rounds 2 and round 5, I took half-point buys. Okay, so this is the only other game I played in the tournament. Andrew, obviously and frankly, plays sort of like Archer, fast and very aggressive and tactical. Okay. So he played bishop b5, which is more of a positional move. Now the two most common moves are e6, which I play, and g6. Probably g6 is more common, it's close. Okay, now Andrew played a move that's never been played before. I think. See, you can do anything in chess. There's an infinite number of possibilities, except they're finite. Now, this one doesn't make any sense here. It might make sense in other positions. Maybe he was confused.
Knight A3.
Man, knight a3 makes more sense than what he played. Okay, he played, but you got the right, it's like you're cheating, you got the right file. Yeah. He played a4. I can't explain a4, except there are variations in bishop b5 where you play a4, but this ain't one of them. For example, if you play bishop b5 check, and I play bishop here, a4 is not the most common move, but it's a move, it's played, just not common. But I've never seen it after knight c6. I've never seen a4 like in this position. Okay, so I played knight e7. Now, unfortunately, the game ended now because we decided we were playing Bug House. And he took a knight off the board and played mate. Darn. And even the kids don't get it. Okay. Now, the point of e6, which I played on the previous move, see, I can prove it, right? Is I want to play knight e7. And if he takes my knight, I'll take back with the knight and not mess my pawns up. Okay, he played d4, which is also unusual when you play bishop b5. And I played knight c6. Okay, and the computer says this is about equal. Not too exciting. I don't like the move rook a d8 now, but that's what I played. Okay, now I did something none of you have ever done ever. I thought forever. I'd say I thought 9 minutes, because I didn't know what to do. And I was like, what do I do?
The maximum I thought for was probably 1 minute.
1 minute? Probably my maximum for one move is like 40 minutes, but I'm guessing. So I thought forever here, and I had a very long, complicated idea, and I did it all, so I won. Okay, I decided I wanted to play knight f4. And you guys, you'd have to move your knight around, but I just played knight f4.
Okay.
So I thought knight e7, knight g6, knight f4. One reason to play knight f4 is I like knight f4. Attacks his queen, it's in his territory. My queen's defending f4. The other reason is, when he played bishop b5, he was doing stuff. But if my knight's somewhere else, his bishop's just sitting over there doing nothing. Well, I can't play knight e7 because my bishop's on e7. And if I play knight f4, he might take it. He might not. So I got rid of his bishop and evacuated the e7 square. What did I do? Bishop c5. Okay, he played a kid's move. Kids have to play this move. Now some kids would take the bishop because they have to take things. But he had to threaten things. He's higher rated. So he played b4. b4 is weakening his c-pawn. Is his c-pawn defended now? No, it was pretty defended. Now it's not. Okay, and I played knight e7 like I said I would. Okay, and he played a5, which is reasonable, and I played f5. And now he made the losing move. You could argue he's losing here, but I don't think he's losing. But I don't think so. After his next move, he's definitely losing, definite. And his next move is nonsensical. It only goes with the kind of mistakes low-rated players make, like you guys. Instead of improving your position, advancing your majority, taking your opponent's pieces, checkmating them, you know, things that are good. Sometimes you guys are like, wow, I attacked something. That's what he did. He likes to attack. I played bishop c5, he attacked it. Now he did it again. Really bad move. He played queen g5. Queen g5 unprotects the pawns the queen was defending. He played a5, pressuring my b6 pawn, took the pressure off, and put his queen on a really bad square. I was confused about queen g5 because the moves that I analyzed all won the game. I'm like, that wins, that wins, that wins. I don't understand his move. The most obvious move is to take his pawn. I just played f5. Now I'm up a pawn. So that was easy. Why do you do that? If he takes my knight, take his knight. I'm up a pawn. And my pawn on f3 is pretty good. And this pawn's attacked. And this pawn's attacked. So that was very simple, but I thought knight g6 was better. And I don't know if it is better, but now he blundered a piece, so I guess it was better. What should he do here? Nobody knows. I asked the computer and it said, I don't know. What would you do if you had white? Your e4 pawn is attacked twice and defended 0 times. I'd like to point out, it was defended and he played queen g5. Now it's not defended.
Put the queen back.
Phew, that's better than what he did. Yeah, I agree with that. That might be the best move. Yeah, because this is also attacked. Yeah. Anyway, he actually thought a while here, and now, let's get back to why this is so bad. When you play queen g5, threatening a knight, well, you gotta like figure out what your opponent's gonna do. But most of you don't do that. You're like, I attacked the knight, now it's his move. I don't know, do something. And then when I do something, he's like, okay, now it's my move. Is that how Carlsen thinks? Depends. Okay. So he played a blunder, e takes f5, losing the game immediately. What did I do?
Rook takes.
What's that? Louder.
I'm thinking if rook takes f5 works, yeah.
Rook takes f5 is a fork, because I said so.
Yeah.
Now, most of you think it forks the queen and the knight. But what I meant was the queen and the bishop. When did he notice I could take his bishop? Answer, when I took it. He didn't notice it here. He's like, my queen's attacked. Time to move my queen. Okay. Now, I could take the bishop, and there's nothing wrong with it. Then he would play knight to d4, and his knight's pretty good. So I took his knight first. But then I took his bishop. When I took his bishop, he was like, what? Where'd my bishop go? I talk about this in class a lot, and as long as you don't listen, I can keep talking about it. When you move your pieces out, sometimes they're defended, and sometimes they're not. And especially when they're on the 4th and 5th rank.
I had one about this one.
That's the loose piece. Okay? And his bishop on b5 was defended by the move I was making fun of, a4. I was like, a4, why do you do that? Then he played a5. I can prove it. a5. Now his bishop's not defended. And eventually I attacked it, and he can't do anything now. His queen and bishop are forked. And I took it. And the game ended very quickly. And here he resigned. Recommended by the computer. The number 1 move is resigns. It's unusual blip in the
What's
computer.
number 2?
What?
What's the number 2 move?
Who? Try to make a move for white and you'll see why resigns is better.
King to... Oh wait, I can't move there. Okay, yeah.
I think King E1's the best move. The move you can't play. Man, truth hurts.
King E2 if...
King E2, now you can't play.
That's right.
You can't play it.
Right, I thought you meant King E1, which you can play. I don't recommend it. I recommend resigns. Yeah. Alright, and if you turn the engine on, it says resigns. Right?
There it goes.
Yeah, it doesn't like white. Right?
It'll get there.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Doesn't like, well, I have depth 2
There it
also.
is.
2 CPUs.
Nice.
Terrible. Yeah. Horrible. Okay, so he resigned. But he does have dominance of the A files. You gotta give him that. And no sense of humor. Yeah. He played A4, he got the A file. Okay? What's his favorite TV show?
18?
There you go. The kids are like, what's that? Kids got nothing. Man, and also there's a really good Rick and Morty joke, but I can't make it in front of the kids. Darn. I can't make any Rick and Morty jokes in front of the kids.
Yeah, brackets.
Now, before I show you a couple of endings I want to show you, I have to tell you a story. It's a true story.
Okay.
Right, most of my story is a little suspicious. This one's just true. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I forgot. That's the part that's not true, I don't remember. A few weeks ago at the Nationals in Nashville, there were 2,200 kids or more, and etc. And a lot of people like, can I have your autograph and make it out to eBay? Okay. And this one adult comes, and he has a Detroit firefighters like tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm a big fan, I'm from Detroit, because I'm from Detroit originally. Exactly. And he has a shirt on, I sign autograph, and he has a shirt on, it's a Rick and Morty shirt, although if you made the show Rick and Morty, you would call the cops to have him arrested, because obviously it wasn't official, it was very suspicious. Anyway, he had a Rick and Morty shirt on, and I said, I like that shirt, can I have it? Give me your shirt. Where's that shirt now? In my closet. He gave me a shirt that he was wearing. True story. I like that shirt. Then he went to his room.
Was it Pickle Rick?
Yeah. It is
love
Pickle Rick. My daughter hates Pickle Rick.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. See, the only thing that matters is what's better, Pickle Rick or Tiny Rick? And then my daughter's like, anything's better than Pickle Rick. And I'm like, what? I have no son or something. Anyway, I actually slightly prefer Tiny Rick because just of the song that he sings. Pickle Rick is better overall, but Tiny Rick singing let me out, this is not a dance. I'm trapped in a vat in the garage. That's a good song, right?
No.
He sings these 2 songs actually in the show, but that's a good song. Okay, anyway, so he went to his room, took his shirt off, and got another shirt that said Detroit Firefighter, and I have 2 shirts. Yeah. Right? And then when I told Mike Klein, Fun Master Mike, finally they know something.
Yeah.
Man, they still look confused. I told Mike Klein, and he said you should have said you liked his Rolex. Exactly. The truth hurts. Yeah. Okay, so I win. I'm Pickle Rick. Also, I'm Tiny Rick. Okay, so today, if I remember correctly, and I don't, I saw a puzzle on the internet. Let's see if I remember it. And it's going to be tough. I think it's this. I've never seen this puzzle either. And I solved it in my head, so I could be wrong. Pretty sure this is right.
And it's white to move.
Whoops. Yeah, white's going this way. and black's going the other way, just like every other position I showed you, right? So can white queen?
No.
No, because it's not going that way. Can black queen? No, it's not going that way. Okay, so the puzzle on the internet said white to play and win. I think I solved it in my head, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. You with the wrong answer.
You played D4.
D4. All right, I'll play black. I'm gonna go here. That seems reasonable, right?
Wait.
Wait, what was that crazy move I played?
Calculating,
He's like king D3. Why'd you go there?
there's like an opposition waiting thing.
King.
Yeah.
F4.
King F4. I'll go here.
That's the only move.
Then King F5.
King F5. I'll take that.
Yeah. So it's
I don't think you're gonna win now.
only move the king.
Alright.
Yeah.
King A5.
King E5. Then I'll go there. Then the truth hurts.
Yeah, so,
you gotta triangulate on your way. You gotta
Oh,
waste
wait.
a move.
Wait, and then. Wait, we go like D4,
Yeah.
and then same move.
Then what?
The same
Oh, the same move. Okay.
King
Okay.
F4.
Yeah, and now you go
I'm betting a legal move.
E3,
What's that?
King E3.
Oh man, I was betting on King E4. I was betting a legal move. All right.
Truth
Okay,
hurts.
I can't.
Not so
Never
true.
mind.
Yeah. Probably you're not gonna win with D4.
So maybe D3.
All right, D3 it is. All right. Let's. I don't know. I didn't look at D3, so I'll go here.
And now.
King F4. Right?
King E3 maybe, I don't know.
Well, if white wins, you're a better player than I am. Yeah. It's a draw, but black might win. All right. So the thing is, if you move your D pawn, you're not moving your king towards his pawn. You're moving your D pawn,
You don't have
and you can move your D pawn whenever you want. So you have to play King F4, and you're going to play King E5, and you're going to take. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
like that plan.
King F4.
Yeah. So King F4. That's the move I think is right. Then if you go here, I attack your pawn.
And he can go guarding.
If he goes here, now it's black's turn. Oh,
Oh.
snap. And if black plays king c2, now d4, I'm still ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure king f4 is the right move. Although I can guarantee it by clicking this button. It'll announce made in 18.
19, yeah.
I'm guessing, I don't know. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, you said 19, I said 18? Yeah, you're so good. Once it goes to 18, then I'm
Yeah,
good.
it'll do it at some depth.
Really? But maybe it's not made in 19.
Yeah, it could actually be.
Then maybe it isn't made in 18, it's 19.
You know what can tell us for sure? It's table based.
Well, I trust this if it was 4 CPUs, there's no legal moves.
That's true.
I still trust it with 2 CPUs, there's no legal moves.
I'll show
All
you
right, so King F4 is the only winning move because the computer said so, right? And this reminds me of like puzzles that I show. This one was slightly different, very slightly. All right, now we're gonna vote. Okay, so knowing if you're winning or losing doesn't matter. I don't even care about that. That's too pedestrian. All right, time to vote. Okay, white's a play. White's winning, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I want to know how many moves until mate. So white's a move and mate in, and we'll see how many moves it is. You can count in your head. The last person I showed this to who counted in their head and gave me the right answer, they won the Super Nationals, and they beat me the last time we played. Good student, right? And now he's 25-30. That's good reading, right? I taught him when he was 6, and he was not 25-30.
7
7.
and 7.
He says mate and 7. When I was killing time, he was counting. The rest of you were like, when's the earlier class? This position's too hard. Now, I have a funny story about this position, which I've told many times. I had a student come to my house who's now an FM, and he was 2200, and he could not win this with white. We're still making fun of him. Yeah. He didn't see the winning idea, so he couldn't win. You don't see the winning idea, you don't win.
Wow.
The truth hurts.
It's mate and 7.
Mate and 7 is correct. The first move is
H8 equals
H8, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
King F6.
King F6.
G7.
Notice that black only has one legal move, right?
Yep.
This is the hard move.
Queen G3.
Yeah. Then for some reason, everybody plays Queen G6 instead of Queen H4. I guess Queen G6 is better. I don't know. Mate and 7. And I guarantee it'll say mate and 7, I never pushed it, but I guarantee it anyway. I'll guarantee you whatever you want. Yeah, mate and 7, probably there's no other move. Yep, other move's no good. Only rook and queen, yeah. Now something you don't know, except Archer probably does,
What?
probably. The rest of you get no hope. I mean, good job, good class. Is the same position, the one I just showed you. See this one? Let's make this a bishop. Bam! See how I did that?
Yeah,
See how I turned that from a pawn to a bishop?
Yeah.
What's better, a bishop or a pawn?
upon
In
the,
that case, pawn.
Yeah, this is a draw.
Yeah, I know.
I can prove it by pushing the default kibitzer button. Then you'll agree with me. You ever seen this before? If this bishop is anywhere on the board and it's white's move, it's a win, except this one here. The exception proves the rule. Yeah, it'll say equal maybe, or no, don't say it's winning, it's not winning. You can say it's winning, but it's not. It should announce mate if it was winning.
Yeah, this is one of those.
But it really likes the extra bishop and pawn.
Stockfish doesn't understand this position.
But it will eventually, right?
I don't know.
Well, it gets towards move, yeah, it just says white's winning, but it can't win.
Right.
So I have Stockfish playing white, its play doesn't inspire confidence.
Yeah, it'll think this position's just +3 forever until it draws, and then on move 49, it'll say 0.00. Right?
Yeah.
On move 49 and a half.
No, but I think it'll see far enough ahead where it gets to move 50.
Yeah, right. So by the time it gets to move 30, it'll see 0.00.
Yeah, we're on, it does the 0.8, that thing we talked
yeah,
about,
yeah.
where it goes crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, it should say black's up 0.0. Alright, so it realizes it's a draw, but doesn't know why. Yeah, now, to finish the lecture, I made a chess puzzle once, because I said so.
Yeah.
alright,
I have other chess puzzles, but this one is apropos of nothing. Okay, and drinking beer on Tuesday. I'm from St. Louis, what do you want? Is this here? I forgot. Yeah. I've never checked it with an engine, so it's going to be very embarrassing. So white's going this way because I said so,
Yeah.
and black's going that way, because
Yeah.
it's always the same.
yeah.
Black to play and draw.
What?
It's a puzzle I made up. I made it up like 20 years ago, so it could be wrong.
B6.
B6 is correct. If A6, king B5 draws because you take the pawn. If bishop takes, this is a well-known book draw. I think the computer knows this one. I think it knows this is a draw. It doesn't have to think about it, I think it knows.
Because the bishop's not actually.
Yeah, and then if pawn takes, we just looked at that, remember? If you don't play B6, then white can play bishop B6 and stop it. And I think that's a win, but I'm not sure. So let's see if B6 is the only drawing move or I'm crazy. Yay, B6 is the only drawing move. It announces mate otherwise. So, if you go here, then you're not threatening B6 because A6 wins. Because you can't play king B5. Yeah. Yay, so my puzzle is correct. I win. Yeah. So you can show people that puzzle and be confused because you don't understand the answer. I mean, because that's it. B6 doesn't look good, does it? That's how you know it's the answer. Like, that can't be it. That's it. So, and to finish, you guys know the famous game, starting a sentence with that is, the famous game from the USSR Rest of the World match between Larson and Spassky. And this game ended very quickly. Spassky won with black, very quickly. And there was a brilliant position where black's rook on h8 plays rook h1, sacrificing his rook.
Yeah.
Very famous move. I showed to a student of mine once who was about 1500, and he couldn't get it. So I gave him hint after hint after hint. And I said, well, it's a rook move. And he suggested every rook move but rook h1. And I said, no, no, no. And he says, well, there's one thing I know, it's not rook h1. Yeah, and I said, it is rook h1. And he was like, what? Because it's just hanging. But that's why it's a great,
Some deflection, right?
I mean, there's a reason, well, your pawn's on g3, so after, like, there's a black pawn here. So after rook takes h1, you play g2 attacking the rook. After rook g1, you play queen h4 check, and you play queen f2, and that's over. But rook h1, if you don't know the answer, is hard to find. And he knew it had to be rook h1, so he said it wasn't that. Yeah, somehow he never became an expert. Yeah. Spassky was world champion. So, yeah. That was the only game Larson lost that match. In that famous match, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, Larson was board 1 and Fisher was board 2, because Larson said, I'm board 1. And Fisher's like, all right. And then Larson won his mini match. Fisher won his mini match. It was a 10 board match. I forgot about the other 8 boards. They didn't go well. Yeah, the rest of the world got crushed. But Fisher and Larson did well, then that was it.
Who was the Russian board 3?
I mean, it's probably like just 10 world champions. And it's a tough country. Yeah. No, there was an Olympia where they had all world champions and they like sat one out and put in Geller. But they could have had all world champions. Because there was Spassky, Tal, Smyslov, Petrosian, Botvinnik, tough team. And they were all good at the time. And then you had Keres and Geller and Bronstein fighting for like last board. It was harsh, yeah. And I probably missed some good grandmasters. I probably forgot about some because too many. Yeah, tough country. Yeah, now they're all terrible. Well, okay, maybe not. Yeah. All right, what are my 3 favorite words, Archer?
Class
Is dismissed. Yeah.